Now when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice, be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Would you pray with me? Holy Spirit, I thank you for the worship we have had this morning, for your presence that has filled us and that we have felt. Continue to be with us, and I ask that you open our hearts to you this morning through this message. Amen. Well, I want to let you guys know what's going on for the next 6 weeks. I always like to try to keep you all informed. We are going to be doing a sermon series on what to me is the greatest sermon that has ever been given in this world. And it's the Sermon on the Mount, which is found in Matthew chapter 5, 6, and 7. What is so astounding about it was heard by almost 5,000, actually more than 5,000 people the first time it was given. And yet every time we read it, since the time Jesus spoke it, it makes my jaw drop. Because it turns the whole world on its head. It takes what we've always thought, even what we've always known, shows there's something much greater than. And so we are going to spend some good time in this sermon, and I hope that you will enjoy it as much as I. But this morning, we are going to begin with the Beatitudes. And as I was getting ready, I was looking around online and seeing what different people say about the Beatitudes. And I came across some people who came up with their own Beatitudes. Some of them are pretty good. I want to share some of them with you. Blessed is he who expects nothing, for he shall never be disappointed. That was Alexander Pope. Blessed are the hearts that can bend, they shall never be broken. That was Albert Camus. Blessed, this one I can relate to. Blessed are the forgetful, for they will get the better even of their own blunders. That was Friedrich Nietzsche. Blessed are the single-hearted, for they shall enjoy much peace. If you refuse to be hurried and pressed, if you stay with your soul on God, nothing can keep you from that clearness of spirit, which is life and peace. In that stillness, you will know what his will is. That was Amy Carmichael. Blessed are they who see beautiful things in humble places where other people see nothing. Camille Pizarro. Blessed are those who give without remembering and take without forgetting. Elizabeth Bibesco. This one I like too a lot. Blessed are the meek, for to them we shall say, attaboy. That was by Christopher Moore Lamb. Blessed are they who have the gift of making friends, for it is one of God's best gifts. You know, all of those I think were pretty good in their own way. And many of them actually I think were taken from the Beatitudes. But when it comes right down to it, I still think the original 8 were the best. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. I think all of us have been poor in spirit at one time or another. Poor in spirit to me is when we have so much sadness in our hearts that our spirit sags. It could be because we've lost a loved one. It could be that what we really hoped for fell through. It could be the weight of sickness or a family member's sickness. But it's just that idea that our spirit is just falling and we have nothing left to give. They will receive the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn. I think these two go pretty close to hand in hand. All of us have mourned. All of us have shed tears. All of us have wanted something and did not get it. We've all lost when we wanted to hold on. They will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, those who look to others instead of themselves, those who give credit to the people beside them instead of heaping it on themselves, those who realize that it's not about them, but about God and our neighbors. They will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Our world is not a righteous place. Too many people are very happy about that. Too many people go on through this world wanting power and wealth and at the expense of others. But there are some who want to see righteousness, are consumed by the desire that all can be fed, all can be loved, all can be lifted up. They will be filled. Blessed are the pure of heart. Wow. Could you imagine if Jesus Christ called you pure in heart? What would that look like? What would a heart look like to be focused on the right things? Focused on praising God, living for God, loving God. I think that would very quickly turn to our hearts for each other. They will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers. This town is not a town of peace. Our country is not a place of peace. Too many people use violence, fear, anger to get what they want. We have murders every day in Louisville. Every person running for office does not say what they believe or what they want to do, but they try to make you fear the person they're running against. In our world, we think we have to have a huge military so that way we can make war amongst the world in the name of peace. There are people who want peace, who fight for peace, who want to see violence go away. They are the children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness. Throughout our world, there are people in prisons right now who their only crime is claiming Jesus Christ. Their only crime was for sticking up for people that had no rights. And their prisons very rarely are as nice as ours. They will receive the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who are insulted, persecuted, or falsely have things evil said about them for my name's sake. In America, We can say the name of Jesus Christ on every street corner, every church, every grocery store. And there are some who might say, well, you really shouldn't say that in public, but they will not, nothing bad will happen to you. But again, that is not the case throughout most of the world. Much of the world, I wouldn't say most. But also in our schools, when kids claim to be Christians, at times they are insulted, put down, called goody two-shoes or Bible thumpers. In our workplace, if we hold to what we feel is right, we don't get ahead. The nice guy finishes last. Even amongst our friends, there are some we can chat about our faith with and others we can't, because we know if we do, they will judge us or put us down. Rejoice and be glad, for the prophets had the same thing happen to them. When I read over this list, I want to see myself in all of them, and I can't. I wish I could. But the other thing that strikes me is too often, I just can't think these are true. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem like these people are the ones who truly, truly are blessed. There was a time in my life, years ago, before I came to Louisville, I had young kids and a beautiful wife, same one. That was not the darkness, I promise. But there were other things in my life that were not going well. The call that I was in with God, I was not happy about. The people that I was called to serve were driving me crazy. I felt like I was just talking and there was no one listening. I kept looking at my bank account and every week it got lower. And I honestly wasn't sure how we were going to make car payments or rent payments. It was pretty much just before this time that I found about my dad's Alzheimer's. And every time I thought about that and what my dad was going to go through, and that within a few years what we as a family were going to go through, I just wanted to cry. Nothing in my life seemed to be going well. Again, except for my wife and kids. But to be honest, that's not what I was focusing on. I was focusing on all the crud, all the bad. And I was depressed, and it was tearing me up. Every day when I went to work, I had to make myself. Because the only thing worse than going to work at the time was knowing that if I lost my call, I could not support my family. I was poor in spirit. Not by my own reasoning, but I was meek. Again, not my fault. And I was mourning. And if there was a word I would not have used about myself, it was blessed. In fact, I felt like God had it out for me, the world had it out for me, and people pretty much universally were attacking me. But I got the opportunity to hear the Beatitudes. To hear, first of all, that there were others who either currently or in the past had felt the exact same way I was feeling. And I started to hear that I was blessed. It wasn't the next day that I walked around shedding joy every step I went. Things didn't automatically improve. heard that Christ was with me. I heard that God was with me. And that even though I didn't understand, I was still blessed. And it took me to the next day. And there are other times, though, when I see the people who fit the Beatitudes, and they're doing much worse than me. And then I look at the people who aren't fitting the Beatitudes, and they seem to be excelling. October, November was a tough couple months for a lot of people in terms of our political system. Every major candidate seemed to want power more than to help. Everybody wanted more for themselves rather than to help people. And somehow we had to pick between them. Someone was going to be blessed beyond all their wants. And I saw the people who suffered, the people who were scared, the people who knew that they, depending on which side got elected, were going to have a worse future than what they had had. And I kept trying to figure out how those Beatitudes could be right. Because those people in power sure seemed to be getting everything they wanted. But there's one thing that they were missing. And it's that thing that only people who are at the bottom know. That it's not about us. Pride, self-power are cheap. They don't give us God. But being at our lowest, being poor in spirit, being mourning, when we fall to our knees, either literally or figuratively, and we look up to God and just pray, God, help me, I need you right now. God, I am suffering. I need your love and your strength today more than ever I've needed it before. That is a blessing. Because the Beatitudes come in full power. We see heaven. We see God. We are comforted. We are surrounded by Christ himself. And when we live a life in meekness and humbleness, knowing that all we have is from God, all we will ever have is a gift from God, and that we can use those gifts to be there for each other, we live with Jesus Christ. And we will be blessed every day more than anyone in power, more than anyone who thinks that they have earned all their wealth, all their gifts themselves. We will live with Christ. We will have the love of Christ all around us, and we can spread that to all those who are poor in spirit, all those who are mourning, all those who are feeling persecuted, all those who need to see that they are blessed. We can live as that blessing to others. There was another quotation that I read when I was doing my research that I want to leave with you. It's an interesting way to think, a different way to think. It says, for some reason, the most vocal Christians among us never mention the Beatitudes, but often with tears in their eyes, they demand that the 10 Commandments be posted in public buildings. And of course, that's Moses, not Jesus. I haven't heard one of them demand that the Sermon on the Mount the Beatitudes be posted anywhere. Blessed are the merciful in the courtroom. Blessed are the peacemakers in the Pentagon. Give me a break. It's by Kurt Vonnegut. What would the world look like if we posted the Beatitudes in every church front yard, every courtroom, every public building, and we lived that blessing to this world? Amen.